This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, pet lovers. Well, my guest today, I'm just in awe. He's been practicing veterinary medicine for over 45 years. He is the founding father of integrative veterinary medicine. He has written 2 books on the subject. He has an amazing line of food products, treats, all holistic supplements. And I think this just came out too. Well, we'll find out for sure from Dr. Marty. But he is the star of the documentary, The Dog Doc. And yep, it is Dr. Marty. I gave it away a little bit there. But I am so excited to talk with him and share all of his information with all of you. So sit tight. We're going to be right back. Hey guys, Michelle Fern here. I want to tell you about Carlson Pet Products. They're a family-owned, budget-conscious company specializing in creating pet safety products to keep your pet happily protected from puppy through senior years. They have some great products: pet pens, folded elevated beds, crates, and pet gates. Their pet gates fit any size opening in your home. Most gates have a walk-through door for humans and a small door for your pet to go through. I've had a Carlson pet gate in my home for years and absolutely love it. And best of all, you're going to get 25% off and free shipping. Just visit carlsonpetproducts.com. And again, you'll get 25% off your order plus free shipping with the promo code PETLIFE.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'd like to introduce Dr. Marty. Welcome.
It's a pleasure being here.
I'm so excited to have you on. You know, you've just done so much in the pet world. I mean, you've been practicing 45 years. You use a combination of, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's integrative veterinary medicine. So that combines kind of modern medicine with holistic medicine.
Well, to me, holistic medicine is what it used to be called. And the way I personally feel is holistic medicine is the umbrella over conventional medicine and alternative natural therapies. I think there's a misunderstanding that on one side of the spectrum you have conventional, the other side you have holistic. A true holistic medicine is incorporating both from a whole point of view. The new term is now integrative medicine because it's integrating conventional medicine with alternative therapy.
I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense because there's so many great alternative types of treatments out there, but
Absolutely.
You still need some of the conventional, you know, from a pet parent's point of view. I'm not a veterinarian at all, of course, but I like that idea. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Have to use conventional medicine. I mean, unfortunately, we do. You know, the number one reason we're so dependent on conventional medicine is all the mistakes we've made in the field of medicine, in healthcare. Medicine, to me, my training at Cornell, I was there for, almost 9 years, 4 years in the vet school. And to me, conventional medicine is a disease-oriented practice where we learn how to diagnose disease and then drug it. And we learn how to try to prevent disease with elements that actually have side effects and cause disease. So we're disease-oriented. And unfortunately, the proof of the pudding is when I graduated the vet school at Cornell in 1973, I observed approximately 1 out of 10 dogs got cancer, and it was always a disease of the old. So if we saw a young dog with a lump, we eliminated the possibility of cancer based on age. Now, recent studies show that up to 1 out of every 1.61 dogs will get cancer right now, and it's become a prominent disease in younger dogs. So there's just something wrong, and we need a wake-up call, and that's what my mouth has been about for the last 47 and a half years, trying to wake society up to focus on healthcare.
Well, we could have a whole show on dogs and cancer, and I haven't dealt with that. Although both my dogs passed suddenly, but they were older. So it makes me think maybe they had something that wasn't detected. But I don't want to go off on a tangent for my sake. Let's talk about, well, you talked a little bit about your background. What made you decide to kind of go the route you're going? I know you had, I'm assuming, conventional veterinary, training. You were at Cornell. What made you decide to focus in on more holistic, on the wellness, or I should say not holistic. You don't like that word, integrative
Right.
medicine, and look at more the wellness and how we're treating our dogs. To Are you more into the preventative versus the disease treatment?
Well, because I, with my associates, you'll see in the dog doc, worked on tens of thousands of non-responsive, hopeless, terminal cases from all over the United States, Canada, and then different parts of the world. And we turned them around when they were deemed hopeless by conventional medicine. The thought always came up, if this works in dogs that have gone this far where they have a week or two to live. Imagine if we started their life with that. So my focus went from being known as the doctor that dealt with the terminal, quote unquote, basket case to one of wellness. And that's why, we'll talk about the product line. There is no disease if you maintain health. It's not more complicated than that.
Right. Just in what you said, how do you do it? I mean, I watched your trailer and I was just losing it. So, we're talking about this, and I just want to let everybody know Dr. Marty's the star of a documentary called The Dog Doc. You can find it on Pluto TV, Apple TV, Prime Video. It's called The Dog Doc. Strongly recommended. And the website for that, dogdocthefilm.com. If you love pets, like pets, have pets, you want to watch this. So how did you do it? You're helping pet parents at their wits' end. It's tragic. There's nothing like losing a pet. And I lost one in August last year. There's nothing. It's even when they're sick, it's just heartbreaking. How do you do it?
Well, to answer the first question, I got into all of this because I was losing my own health and it was genetically based. I had conditions that ran in my mother's side of the family in all the males, degenerative arthritis, male pattern baldness. I had birthmarks, appearing and growing on my body. And all the males now on my mother's side of the family, they're all long gone. I'm the only one still left. So I was searching for answers that I didn't have with conventional medicine. And at one time, in the earlier academic years at Cornell, I was number 2 in my class. I knew medicine, still do very well. And I stumbled upon nutrition, Far Eastern nutrition, changed my diet. And the arthritis all of a sudden was gone. I was always fat. My nickname in high school and public school was Porky. I couldn't see my feet when I looked down. And I lost 20 pounds in less than 2 weeks, just eating really good food. And then the light bulb went off. If this works so well for me, why wouldn't it work for our companion animals? And then I started to look at the ingredients in quote unquote dog food. It was astounding. My wake-up call is like, dogs wouldn't eat this in the wild. So we started to home cook for our family dogs. And some of the ones that were chronically degeneratively ill got markedly better. Then we tried it with some of the clients, companion animals. They got better. And then almost 50 years later, here we are.
I guess there's something to you are what you eat. Your pet is what he or she eats.
Yeah, it all starts with food. And because we've degenerated and degraded the food chain, especially through the pet food industry for so long, a head of lettuce now does not have anywhere the nutrient content that it had 80 years ago. In my new book, The Spirit of Animal Healing, I go over studies around the world of how devoid in nutrition food is. The pet food industry adulterated the biologically appropriate diet for dogs and cats who are carnivores. So we do need supplementation. We need more than just the dietary change. But the old line is, it all starts with food, and it sure does.
Okay, we talked about your most recent book briefly. What is your first book about? The nature of animal healing.
Well, it's very interesting, but nature in that book has two meanings. The nature in which the body heals. The doctor is not the healer. The doctor is the guide. Hippocrates said it, physician, heal thyself. But it was also, the other meaning of nature is the healer, not the doctor. And what happened is that book has been out for 22 years. What's amazing, Amazon ranks over 9 million books approximately. And that book is still within the top 20,000 ranked. We checked it this morning for an article we were writing, and it was number 13,000 out of 9 million 22 years later. But I knew the last line in that book is, so I will continue this work one pet at a time. I knew I had to start with everything I've learned, the amount of documented turnarounds that I present at vet schools, when I lecture there. I knew I had to reach the masses. So I finally put together the second book after 22 years called The Spirit of Animal Healing. And the spirit also has two meanings. The spirit in which the body heals, but also in the spirit of healing, getting into the spiritual connection between the human race and the companion animal race. And it's a huge, as you know, connection. They represent to us the level of unconditional love for the human race. And we've unfortunately turned that level into chronic degenerative illness and cancer. So, we have a lot of work to do because we love them.
Yes, we do. All right, we're going to take a short break and we're going to come back with some more questions and learn more about Dr. Marty and his amazing food line. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, Michelle Fern here, your host on Best Bets for Pets and Catitude. Ben and Jerry's has frozen treats for dogs. I know Nikki is going to love this. He loves a frozen treat. They have two different flavors. One is Punch's Mix, which is peanut butter and pretzel, and the other one is Rosie's Batch, which is pumpkin and mini cookies. I kind of like both of those flavors too, but my absolute favorite is fish food. Anything Ben & Jerry's is always fabulous because the quality is so good and their mixes are so delicious. Be sure to check out more about these frozen dog desserts, as well as pictures of all the caniners at the Ben & Jerry's Vermont office at benjerry.com. That's BENJERRY.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Dr. Marty, who is just one of the most amazing veterinarians I've ever spoke to. He's the founding father of integrative medicine. We're talking about all kinds of great things he's done over the years, his books. Now, I want to ask you, what? In talking, you mentioned food and everything. I could just see this as the next logical step. I can guess why, but let me ask you, why did you decide to go into, developing a line of pet food, pet treats, supplements?
Well, yeah, that's one thing I would like to just augment a little is that I was one of the original founding fathers of the American Holistic Veterinary Medical Association.
Thank you for correcting me.
And that is the resource for anyone listening anywhere in the United States. If they want to work with an integrative veterinarian, it's ahvma.org. And it's a listing of all the veterinarians that practice integrative medicine all over the country, state by state, city by city, and then the modalities they practice. It's a very, very great reference. So why did I create my own line? Because, like I said, why I wrote the second book, I needed to reach the masses. Part of my work that I just finally love so much is the acceptance of what I started to try to represent and educate way back in the 70s and 80s, you couldn't even count the arrow holes I had in my back. The ridicule, the threats to my license, it was just horrible when I started to do this work, the backlash that came upon me. What was interesting back then is that there was one supplement that I knew of for dogs and cats. It was called Pet Tams, made by a drug company way back then. Now, do you know how many supplements there are for dogs and cats? Probably a zillion. And as heartwarming as that is, with the internet, it has also led to mass confusion. So many companies and individuals, even veterinarians, hopped on the integrative medicine bandwagon. And there are so many supplements and so much confusion out there. My advantage doing this for so long, being one of the first to ever use supplements, and then my specialty became supplements. I was consulting to 300 veterinarians on supplemental programs for animals, plus my 5 associates. I amassed, treating literally hundreds of thousands of pets, literally over almost 50 years. And I learned so much about proper supplementation that I felt I needed to come out finally with my own line of the supplements and the quality of the supplements and the sources of the supplements that I've seen work for the immune system, for allergies, for skin, for joint problems, for the heart, and this and that, plus the food itself. And, so many of the big commercial pet foods that have been out for decades and decades, unfortunately, are cereal based. The number one ingredient is a cereal or a combination of cereals. The dog, even though it's considered an omnivore, is mostly a carnivore. Show me one tooth in a dog's mouth, flat for grinding grain. And a cat is an obligate carnivore. So I needed to get real high quality, predominantly meat protein based foods out on the market. But fresh, frozen, or refrigerated meat, shipping it across the country is so price prohibitive. We stumbled upon the freeze drying process, which does not destroy or adulterate the food at all. It actually concentrates the nutritional value. The weight goes down tremendously. It could last up to 2 years and be still good on a shelf or in an office. And it knocks out any potential for pathogens to grow. And it was like having 3 or 4 slices of cake and eat it too. So I came out with my own line of freeze-dried food, and it's one of the only freeze-dried foods that meets FDA AFCO regulations with no supplements added back in on, like, to make the label look good. We met AFCO requirements using only food. And I don't know if on any food that's on the market that's like that. So there, big mouthful.
Well, it kind of says it all. I mean, I was going to ask you what sets apart your food from any others, and I already have the answer. I like the idea of freeze-dried food because fresh raw food is, besides the fact that it's, difficult to order. If you're lucky enough to live in a, large city, you can probably get it locally, but it's also perishable.
Yes. And that's where refrigeration comes in, refrigeration for shipping, refrigeration for storage, either at a veterinary hospital, in your home, especially in a store. And it becomes price prohibitive, even though that is the ideal biologically appropriate diet. Freeze-dried simulates that so closely, and it just has many advantages over it. I went that way. But the best thing about all of this is, over the last 4 years, the thousands of testimonials I've received from people all over this country thanking me for how much their dog, cat loves this food, how well they're doing on it, how their disease problems actually got better on the food and the supplements. And I've gotten contacts from veterinarians who had non-responsive cases where the people went online, bought the food and or the supplements, and their cases got better. And they contacted me, can you teach me this? Can I carry this food? Where can I buy it? And it's just the most rewarding aspect of my life.
Well, I have more questions, but just to let you know, you guys sent me samples. Thank you. And Nicky is one of the pickiest dogs around. He's a little Havanese. As he's gotten older, he's pickier. So I opened the food. Yes, so it's the food, and I think a treat, and gave him one. And he's the kind of dog, he takes everything and puts it in front of him and looks at it for a little bit. But he chomped down on it, which I was impressed. Out of every maybe 30 treats, he likes one.
Yeah.
So
that's what we've heard thousands and thousands of times. And
the cats like it too.
Yep.
So hopefully the cats can have the dog kind also, because that's what they were eating.
Oh, yeah. It's so similar. There's a lot of marketing, in getting pet foods onto shelves. But when you think about the common sense aspect of nature, cats didn't, wild cats didn't eat cat food and wild dogs didn't eat dog food. Their sources were the same.
Right. I want to ask you about supplements. You have some great supplements that I found on your website, and I have 2 samples. What I want to know is, how does someone decide what supplements to get? Meaning, say I have a neurotic cat, but she also, is has another ailment, and she could probably use 3 or 4. Can I put her on 3 or 4? Should I try one at a time? How do you decide?
Yeah, that's a great question. My recommendation for anyone listening that has a pet that has a chronic degenerative illness is, don't do it on your own. Don't use Dr. Google, please. Contact through the site I gave you before, ahvma.org, and work hand in hand with an experienced integrative veterinarian. Because I've seen thousands of people come to the clinic that you'll see in the dog doc, and their pet is still dying of or not responding an illness. They walk in with a box of 35 supplements that they found online. No, you need the experience of a good integrative veterinarian. If they're not sick, then the only reason I recommend and like my supplements is it's backed by almost a half a century of experience that I've had with tens and tens of thousands of animals. And so many of the cases we've turned around, they were on 8 to 12 supplements 2 to 3 times a day. So you can give a number of supplements at the same time. But the smart thing, like you said, start one at a time. If you have time and you're doing this for health benefits, or just, they have chronic joint problems and you get the joint supplement, then, give that one for 3 or 4 days, then add the probiotic supplement in, or add the mushroom supplement, which is incredible for the immune system. That's the smart, common sense way to do it.
Okay, that sounds like great advice, and especially mentioning going to your vet, because so many people, and I love that, Dr. Google, so many people look these things up, and, pet parents look up stuff and go, oh, my dog has this and this. Go to your veterinarian, because you can't. As pet parents, we can try to understand our pets somewhat, but we're not veterinarians. We don't know what's going on. And I want to mention your website, drmartypets.com. Dr. Marty, you have a line, you have food, treats, supplements. Is that just about cover everything?
Yes. Education, there's a really good blog on there. We do so many videos, even despite COVID. We're getting, last thing I heard, almost 100,000 views a day. And part of those are education. I want to reach the masses that, their pets can live a long, happy, and healthy life. We got so used to disease. It's a shame. Disease is so much more common now than health. And it doesn't have to be that way. So we put that out too, through the internet. So just to make the difference that I've always wanted to make.
Okay, and I want to give a huge thank you to you for all of our listeners. You can go to drmartypets.com. The promo code is bestbets25. and it's the digits 25. So it's Best Bets 25 for 25% off site-wide. Hurry though, because it expires 8/30/21. So make sure this is a great offer, and the supplements and the food and the treats are amazing. Dr. Marty, I heard some barking in the back. What kind of dogs do you have?
Well, that was Tilly, who is, I mean, she's like an Annie dog. You remember the dog from Annie? She is such a trip. My wife saw a picture of her up for adoption from Tennessee when she was like 8 weeks old. And my wife looked at the picture and says, "That's my dog." My wife almost drove from New York to Tennessee on Christmas morning because she didn't want to lose Tilly. So that's Tilly. I have a little min pinish dog named Joey, and this beautiful regal red greyhound named Redford that we adopted at the age of 4 from the track. And he's 10 years old now, and he looks better now than when we adopted him at the age of 4.
Well, your dogs are living the life. I mean, they're living the great life with you as, you know, their pet dad. I mean, and
our
your wife is their pet mom. I mean, they've got it made.
Yeah, our treats in the Dr. Marty Pets line are named after the pets I've had and I have now.
Yes, I saw one of the packages I have says Tilly.
Yes.
Oh, that is so cool. Okay, to wrap up, what would you, we've talked about so many different things. If there's one message for everyone listening that you'd really hope that they just get, you know, there's always that one thing that, you know, if people get anything or remember anything from all this, this is what I want them to remember. What would you say that is for you?
I would say, because I have about 8 or 10 of those, but I think the best thing is to watch the documentary. It will blow you away. It was winning awards at festivals all over the United States before COVID shut everything down. And then read one or both of my books, because my 50 years of experience are in those over 500 pages. Everything is there. And it's probably the main reason that the first book I wrote 22 years ago is still in the top 10, 15,000 out of 9 million, because it's just chock full of the common sense aspect of raising companion animals long, happy, and healthy.
Okay. Dr. Marty, I'm so excited and so happy that you made some time to be on Best Bets for Pets. Thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge, just, I guess, with the world. Well, we're digital, so it's the world. But for all you've done for 50 years, how much you've given to all of the pets and the pet parents out there. I can't even imagine the number, but you've just done so much for pets everywhere and pet parents. Everyone, again, the film, it's called The Dog Doc. I just had a chance to watch the trailer and I was just in awe. So it's wonderful. When is there another film in the works?
Not right now. I mean, that took over 3 years to film.
Wow.
It was Cedar Creek Productions. And that company's last film, Buck, about the horse whisperer, made the shortlist for the Academy Awards.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot goes into making a film like that. And I think they captured almost the entire essence of what true integrative medicine is and should be.
Well, like I said, I saw the trailer. I can't wait to see the whole thing. And again, Dr. Marty, thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets and for, you know, how much work you've done in your lifetime to help pets and pet parents everywhere. So thank you again.
You keep up the good work too.
I hope everybody enjoyed this interview just like I did. I found it so informative. You know, Best Bets for Pets it's a product show. It's a lot about products, but I think this show is pretty informative as well. And of course, be sure to check out drmartypets.com. There's a very generous discount, 25% off site-wide. He has freeze-dried treats and foods, and they are, Nikki and the cats thought they were unbelievably delicious. I made the mistake of leaving a bag out. It was clawed to shreds, thank you, Dennis, and pretty much gone by the morning. So there you go. It's Dennis approved, and Molly and Charlotte approved as well, and Nikki loved his. And again, that would be the promo code at drmartypets.com. is Best Bets 25, and it's 25% off site-wide till 8/30/21. Again, thank you all for listening for over 10 years. Thank you so much. And thank you to Dr. Marty for coming on Best Bets for Pets. Thank you to Nikki and Molly, Charlotte, and Dennis for enjoying the Dr. Marty sample treats that we were sent. And of course, thank you so much to my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound amazing. Now, keep listening. You never know what's going to be coming on Best Bets for Pets.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.